Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, supporting arts, advancing culture, and connecting the community to artists, events, and classes at columbusmakesart.com.
This time on Broad and High. Meet some local artists who like to work on really big canvases.
It's just so liberating just to draw really big on walls.
A Columbus baker whips up tasty treats that were once reserved for royalty.
You know, marshmallows have really fallen from grace. They were a confection for kings.
And explore the popular world of chess right here in Central Ohio. This and more right now on Broad and High. Hi everyone, I'm Kate Quickle and welcome to Broad and High. So I'm out here at Westgate Park in the Hilltop. This 46-acre park was established in 1925 and it's got all the standard park fare. Tennis courts, playgrounds, a pond, baseball diamonds, and even a racquetball court. Until recently, the wall that enclosed the racquetball court had been an 80-foot expanse of bare gray concrete that was constantly being tagged with graffiti. That is until some local festival organizers came up with a very colorful idea.
This is day 3 of the drawing process, and I imagine I have about one more day of this. It's just so liberating just to draw really big on walls.
My art is colorful, cheerful. I'm hoping to bring some light and love and good feelings to otherwise ordinary places.
We're in Westgate Park. Westgate Park is a 47-acre park. It is the largest park in the city, and it's in the Westgate neighborhood on the Greater Hilltop area of Columbus, on the west side. We're standing right now on the west-facing wall of the racquetball court in the park, right in front of Danielle Poling's fantastic food garden.
It came about through Summer Jam Westgate, which is a festival that's here every summer, and it's an art and music festival. They invited artists to apply and to sort of share some ideas on ways to incorporate the existing mural that's up in the corner and kind of extend the design onto the whole wall. And the theme that they chose for the year was the Fantastic Food Garden.
The wall was just 80 feet of gray cement, and it was tagged all the time. So this year, we're promoting community gardens and healthy eating, backyard gardening, and of course your pollinators that you need to keep it all going.
So there's honeybees and monarchs. Also, there's a little bird in there that is under the sunflower. There was a Hungarian partridge that took up residence in Westgate Park, and so when I was painting the design, I just was looking at it walking around. It looks like a chicken or something. And so I thought, wow, I'm going to put him or her in the mural.
We're inviting any child on the Hilltop area to come out here with their parents, and we'll have their hands painted, and Danielle will press their hands into the petals of the beautiful flowers that she has painted over there, so that all of a sudden the mural becomes part of all the families on the Hilltop. It becomes their mural. It becomes something that they get to take ownership in, and it'll be there for their lifetime, hopefully. We have a special anti-graffiti coating, and it gets rolled on over top. So if anyone tags it or spray paints it, it's a simple soap and water soft brush and power washer, and it's gone.
Yesterday I heard a grandfather and his grandchildren walking past, and he said, "Go stand by the mural, I want to take your picture." And I think public art has that ability to bring people together to not just make the mural, but to enjoy it and to find a sense of place.
We're so void of so much public art up here on the hilltop, and we just want to bring it out there for everybody.
You can see more of Danielle's work by following her on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. She recently painted her backyard fence, and it's pretty rad. With dozens of art galleries and exhibit spaces, it's no surprise that the Short North has blossomed into one of the premier arts districts of Central Ohio. But with its narrow sidewalks and tightly packed infrastructure, there's not necessarily a lot of room for public art installations. So if you want to spy outdoor art in unexpected places, don't forget to look up.
This is an interesting project because it started last year and now it's coming full circle. So we're on the corner of High Street and 5th Avenue on the east side, in the heart of the Short North, or the northern part of the Short North.
We're mocking up our public art piece that will be installed this spring. These white papers will eventually be carved brick, but right now we're just making sure that all of the elements line up and they look good in real life on the wall.
The idea behind the messenger wall is to honor people who have been key messengers in our community. And then we also wanted to pay homage to a former director of our organization who worked tirelessly to do so much good here. And the name for the wall actually comes from him. His name was John Angelo.
It also so happens that his last name means angel or messenger in Italian. So his name is tied into it, but then the notion of a community messenger is really what they're trying to get across, which is someone who actively brings people into the circle to work together to make whichever community they're part of better and stronger because we're all together in it. So I started thinking of how to convey messages, message in a bottle, messenger pigeon. So what Jen came up with was sort of an abstract design that it might look like the way the wind blows or the way a bird might fly through the air if they flap their wings. And then this composition carries throughout 4 panels, and these panels are being installed into old windowsills. This project couldn't have been done without the help of my awesome studio assistant, Brooke Slobodian. So we took Jen's drawing and we put it onto paper, and then we put that paper onto these wet bricks that we had stacked in the wall pattern, and then traced through the paper to get the markings on there, and then carved the relief pattern out of there. And now I'm using the back end of a Sharpie marker to trace through the paper and trying to make sure I get enough pressure that I am indenting the wet clay bricks underneath. And then we'll peel off the paper for the, we'll call it medium reveal. Let's just go at it. These bricks are, they're about 8 pounds each, which is pretty crazy. So that the big panel has 350 bricks or so. I was actually worried when we stacked them as tall as we did that the ones on the bottom, because they're wet, I wasn't sure if they were going to start smushing. But it didn't. It didn't happen. We have 652 bricks in the panels, and then we have 26 pressed birds. If the clay is a little bit wetter on the side that's touching the plaster, we'll get a smoother surface like that, and where it's a little bit drier, it's a little more crumbly. But dare I say, this is exactly what we were going for. All right, so we'll unload the kiln now. We fired the bricks, and you saw the brick clay is that green color. It's like a forest green color when it goes in the kiln. And because of the iron in the shale, it turns from green to the red color. So every brick is marked on the back so that we can install them in order. I can't wait to see these up on the wall.
In taking a look at the neighborhood and seeing where we could help redefine some spaces with art and creativity, one of the places that emerged to us was Fifth Avenue, because in many ways it's this gateway into the neighborhood.
It's not, the shiny boutique part. It's the real part where real people walk around, and I think that's really cool to be part of their everyday.
Public art is needed, especially in a place like Fifth and High. So it's nice to be part of the beautification, but it's also important to remember where community comes from and who the people are living in that community.
It really is part of our mission to help redefine these spaces in big creative ways with art that is lasting.
As a high school art teacher, you're so much doing day-to-day solving problems on smaller scale. I'd never thought I would do something so big, and for sure not something so permanent.
It's really kind of hard to wrap my mind around graduating from Ohio State and putting a significant piece of permanent artwork on the corner of Fifth and High, which is the beginning of the arts district in the capital city that I love.
Examine the messenger wall up close during the Short North Gallery Hop, held on the first Saturday of every month. Visit shortnorth.org for details and to discover even more things to see and do in this vibrant arts district. Right now, I'm in the sweetest spot in town. This is Mellow, located in the Short North. It's a boutique confectionery where Columbus native Michelle Allen makes amazing marshmallow treats, pastries, and handmade chocolates. Now, I'm gonna treat myself, so you guys go watch this segment because I think I need to be alone right now.
We are in my new cafe, my confectionery cafe, Mellow Boutique Confections, M-M-E-L-O, which funnily enough came out of a sound that my husband would hear, because I started kind of doing this in Spain, and my husband, people would try my food and people would go, and it just kind of grew out of that sound. So yeah, that's where Mellow comes from. Marshmallows have really fallen from grace. They were a confection for kings. And the reason for that is you can do so many things with the flavor and the texture and you raise it a few degrees and you get like a Swedish marshmallow, which is a bit rubbery, and that's how they like it. Or, you add a bit of egg white to it and it's almost like a foam. The French call that a guimauve. So that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of pushing the virtues of marshmallows. I grew up just off of Livingston Avenue and the southeast side, and went to Ohio State and was just chomping at the bit to get out of town. I traveled all over the world, and a lot of that travel actually ended up informing the recipes I design now. In September of 2015, I quickly came back to the United States, incorporated Mellow, contacted a contact that I had over at Easton Ownership. They gave me this creme de la creme spot on the Strand. I had Louis Vuitton across the street and Apple on one side or Michael Kors on the other. It was mad. That would never in a million years happen in Europe. I was there for 8 weeks. Based on the strength of that, I got corporate clients. I found the funding for my business. I would never have gotten this far in Spain, ever. Part of the research that I've done in food is really trying to make sure that I and my team really understand why you make the ingredient choice that you make and how that basically interacts with the human body. That, in addition to the commitment to designing all the recipes around, real food, whole food ingredients, not using uber refined flours, not using uber refined sugars, not using artificial flavors or sweeteners or, all the sort of stuff that we now know we shouldn't really consume. People will ask me all the time, can you do a sugar-free treat? And my response to that is, I would love to, but there isn't a natural way to do that. We can do low glycemic, but we can't do sugar-free. I'm not trying to say that Mellow is health food, but it is food. It is not junk. It is not made with junky ingredients. There's thought behind the way that it was built and constructed. And a lot of people here in Columbus have done some amazing work in terms of creating the food landscape here in Columbus. It's so impressive, and I'm so proud of my hometown. And I really hope that Mellow can contribute to that in a really positive way.
Follow Mellow on Instagram, or better yet, pop into their storefront to sample some of their beautiful and tasty treats and really good coffee. You can find them in the Short North, nestled between the North Market and the Convention Center. This is the Scioto Mile. If you haven't been down here yet, you are definitely missing out. The downtown riverfront was recently revitalized and transformed into an urban oasis with lush green parks, paved trails, and kayakers. And there are plenty of places along the way to stop and take in the view, or perhaps a game of chess. Because much like this downtown riverfront, the Columbus chess scene is flourishing. So you should probably check it out.
This is a knight. It has the ability to deliver checkmate all by itself. The knight is an interesting piece because it has the ability to move in L shapes. 1 up, 2 over. It also has the ability to jump over a piece, 1 over, 2 down. And because it can move in L shapes, it can go 1 down and 2 over and capture this pawn.
I am a math teacher. I teach in the upper school, so geometry, statistics, algebra 2, and I'm also the chess coach here. Our club meets every day at lunch, and so I put out the chess boards, and most days the students just can go and play each other. As a coach, it's important to kind of cover things that they're going to see in tournaments or just general ideas. So today we're going to work on the end game. But there's also times like when we're preparing for tournaments where I'll put a tactic or like kind of like a chess puzzle on the board, and then they're going to have to figure out what the next best sequence of moves are, whether they're going to win a piece or get checkmate. And really doing tactics helps you see and are able to plan ahead more and to come up with a better strategy.
So he was there, here. Okay, so you go here. Okay, let's try that.
Today, I have a position from the U.S. Chess Championships, which went on this past couple weeks. And so the best players from the United States played, and so you could go online and like watch their games. I found a position, an in-game position, where it was a draw, but I want to see if one of them can pull out a win or if it will be a draw. So I'm going to set it up for them, and then I'm going to have them play each other with it.
This is a rook. Originally, it was named a castle because it's such a strong piece. A rook is a very strong piece because it has the ability to move all the way across the board, whether it be vertically or horizontally. And it can also move just 1 square or 2 squares. It can't move, however, to this square because it's not allowed to jump over a piece, whether that be your own piece or your opponent's piece. However, it's certainly possible that it could move to this square and take the pawn. So this is Chess in the Park, run by Lou Frisco, who organizes Central Chess Club. And I've been a part of this club now for over 3 years. I moved here from Manhattan, which also has great chess. And so what we're doing here today is an open tournament. Anyone is allowed to come and play as long as you have the United States Chess Federation identification. And you can just set up your tables, your boards, your clocks, and you know the rules, and then you get to play anybody you want, and if you're lucky, it's your day, you win the prize, and you walk home with $100. Well, I started when I was just a little kid, and I like to tell people that in some sense I'm already better than Bobby Fischer, because he learned to play chess when he was 6, but I learned to play when I was 5. The thing that makes us similar is that we both taught ourselves. And so after that, I played all through life, and now, a few decades later, I'm still playing here in Columbus. I think Columbus chess is just outstanding because for a medium-sized city that we've got here, you can go to the park and play chess, you can go to chess camps with tons of kids and adults playing chess, and then you've got a whole network of coaches that are willing to give private lessons as well as clubs in the area because, you know, Columbus is like kind of a sprawling metropolis, so the chess clubs are all over the place in Columbus, not only in the city proper, but also on the outer belt. This is the queen. It's the most powerful piece on the board, and if you sacrifice it at just the right time, it can often be the key to your success. The queen is perhaps the strongest piece on the board because it has the ability to move as many squares as it likes vertically or horizontally, but also diagonally.
Okay, one other thing is they're going to play with clocks. Each person gets 10 minutes with a 5-second delay.
When I first started teaching at Wellington, I brought some kids over to one of the tournaments, and one of the section monitors was my old friend from middle school who I had known playing chess. And so we talked for about an hour, both saying that we wanted chess to be more widespread throughout Columbus, and we started a nonprofit whose mission is to get students playing, especially from the inner city schools, to play chess.
So we're at the Boys and Girls Club. We had done a partnership with them through the United Way's Neighborhood Partnership Grant. making it possible for all these kids to participate for free. So we have kids from the Boys and Girls Club and from kids from outside the Boys and Girls Club that are here participating in our chess camp, our week-long summer chess camp, and we're glad to have them here.
What do you do at the beginning of every game? You shake your hand. You shake your opponent's hand. So everybody shake hands.
I think one of the misconceptions is that I've heard at least, and like from like students, you know, like, oh, I'm like not smart enough to play chess. And I think that that is a total misconception. I think anybody who is interested in the game can pick it up. And just like anything else in life, like the more you study and the more you do it, the better you get.
Educationally speaking, parents want their kids to be critical thinkers. Teachers want it. Our community wants it. So chess forces you to critically think before you move. Each move has a positive and negative consequence, like in life. Each life decision has a positive and negative consequence. We want to grow them into leaders, using those same principles in leadership and wherever they want to go. Chess, the power of chess can do that for children.
That's our show. Be sure to check out all of our stories on WOSU.org, as well as on the WOSU Public Media mobile app. And give us a follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're taking you out today with local music by The Moving Parts. This track is off their 2010 CD titled State Lines. Thanks for watching. Be sure to join us every Thursday evening as we explore the creative side of Columbus.
Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, supporting arts, advancing culture, and connecting the community to artists, events, and classes at columbusmakesart.com.